On this week's segment of ADvice, Ryan Townend joins us to talk about internal communications and culture. Good morning, Ryan.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming in.
Yeah.
So today we're talking about how good internal communication inside a company interacts with a strong workplace culture. What do you mean by that, the word culture?
Yeah. So we talk a lot about brand on our ADvice segments, and brand is the story and the values that you're telling to the external audience. But you also need your staff to drink that Kool-Aid. You need your staff to believe in what you do and why you do it and your values. So we really put a strong emphasis on culture at William Joseph.
Okay. And so the culture matters then really to everyone.
Culture does. Like, we want employees to be happy. We want them to be engaged. I think culture is way more than cool foosball tables in the lobby and, we have happy Wednesdays where we bring our dogs to work, our pets to work. But culture is much deeper than that. It's giving the employees a sense of belonging and purpose and a reason to be.
I need you to paint a picture a little bit for us and just flesh that out and talk about maybe some examples of companies that have a great handle on their culture?
Yeah, I'm actually going to focus on the two WJs. So we're going to talk about WestJet. I think WestJet has an amazing culture. You see how they really engage with their staff to create buy-in. They have a great personality. People love to work there. And they share those stories on their social media channels and outlets where people get to have a glimpse of what it's like to work there. The other WJ is William Joseph. I think we have an amazing corporate culture at our agency. You know, we bring our dogs to work on Wednesdays. Everybody at our agency has a voice. We expect you to use them. We have family lunches. Like, we're just very ingrained as a team and as a culture, whether it's through learning, after hours activities. It's just the vibe is there.
And you know, when people smile, when you mention the name, that's a good positive sign. So what impact does the internal communication then have on company culture then?
Communication is king. You need to communicate with your staff on an ongoing basis. We need to educate and inform them as to our value systems, what we believe in, and we need to have the conversation two ways. It's one thing for management to go out and say, here's what we believe in, but we also have to create conduits for the staff to give feedback back to the management team. So things like having e-newsletters and stuff like that, they're important, but really having opportunities like apps with two-way dialogue and stuff like that, that's really what we're trying to aim for, is building a culture together.
All right, so what about the other way around? Will culture affect how internal communications work?
Yeah, so we just find that different companies that we work with just have different personalities, right? Depending on the types of people that are on the team. Some people like to have conversations and meetings over lunch. Other people like formal memos. You really have to understand the value system that operates within that company and then tailor internal communications to match that.
All right, so what are your recommendations then for best practices in this area?
Yeah, so I think you have to treat internal communications as one of your key stakeholder groups when you look at an organization from a marketing perspective. You really have to understand who you're talking to, what matters to the people that are in your company, and build out programs, initiatives, and communication strategies to create that dialogue that's two ways.
Some great advice from you, Ryan.
Thank you.
All right, thanks for joining us again.
Another issue of ADvice.
Awesome.